Summertime temperatures still trying to hold on for yet another day. Severe weather also trying to hold on for another day as well. So we're going to be talking about both of those here this morning. First, the active heat alerts that we have now transitioning into the early portions of this week. Had an excessive heat warning for much of yesterday through Lincoln and far eastern Nebraska. Now that transitions to just a heat advisory for the afternoon hours after about 1 o'clock when we're expecting the worst of the heat and humidity with heat index values that could be up to 110 degrees. Already feeling quite warm and muggy out there as we check into Beatrice at South 6th and Perkins Street. Clear skies out there. Again, not much relief in the overnight hours. Makes for some prolonged heat that we're going to experience from yesterday into today and really even what we saw on Saturday as well. But 76 in Lincoln, 74 we were just looking in Beatrice. Also 74 in Fall City with temperatures in and around 75 degrees up in Omaha. Here's a look at your forecasted highs today. Just a sliver cooler than what we're talking about for Sunday. Still likely going to be in the triple digits for a lot of us. We're about Lincoln, Hebron, Omaha down to the south and east. A little bit of relief for those out in portions of closer to the Tri-Cities in the upper 90s, but still going to be another hot day for a lot of those students starting out at UNL and elsewhere. Heat index throughout the worst portion of the day today, again, up to 110 degrees. Wouldn't be surprised to see that today. Dew point temperature throughout much of yesterday was in and around the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. So the worst portions of yesterday in Lincoln felt closer to 112 degrees. Dry across southeast Nebraska. There are a few showers kind of flaring up on radar in and around Oxford, portions of Lexington, near Kearney as well. Those aren't expected to be really all that much in coverage throughout much of the day today. And then I broaden the view because of what's expected to happen throughout the rest of the day and into tonight. In fact, the main event will actually happen just to our north through portions of South Dakota and Minnesota, but enough of a risk that northeast Nebraska needs to be mentioned as well. So I'll quickly show you through Stormcast the rest of the day today. You see how clear some of these skies will be in eastern Nebraska. A scorcher for us here at home, but in western and central Nebraska, starting to watch for some storm development, especially right there. Any storms that manage to form by themselves into this evening will be threatening all severe weather modes with this setup we have in place. Then it becomes more of a damaging wind threat later in the night from what's coming out of eastern Wyoming. Some of these scattered storms in southwest Nebraska also could be threatening some damaging winds, but as you can see, most of the coverage goes through South Dakota and Minnesota into tonight. Meanwhile, we'll be watching for some scattered light showers into tomorrow morning. But this is the latest severe risk from the Storm Prediction Center, an enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk. This is impressive to see this late in the season. You can also see that barely clips some of those areas just north of O'Neill into tonight. Going to be watching for an isolated tornado. You see that 2% risk that dips down barely into Nebraska. Large hail, the main threat will be well to our north, but can't rule out that with any of those isolated storms early on. And then damaging winds will be the later threat after about 8-9 o'clock for those storms tracing across, as you can see, the South Dakota border, but even into southwestern Nebraska as well. So weather aware today. It is going to be hot for a lot of us here at home, but those out west through western and central Nebraska and even northern Nebraska, closer to the South Dakota border, want to be weather aware for that severe potential into tonight. Now, following all of this, we're cooler. We're knocking down temperatures to the lower 90s, and that is going to feel a lot better. Even talking about the 80s by the end of this week, a lot to look forward to into the end of this week and into this weekend.